Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough extras. So we've beaten all of the battle gates bar one, which we will be doing today, and so short. But before we actually get to that, I am kind of missing a couple of shot locks, and since you know there's not going to be any more combats after this in this playthrough, it just felt right that I came somewhere and showed off exactly what ones I was missing. Because I did a pretty good job of trying to cover all of them throughout the course of the battle gates, if I hadn't already done them in the main playthrough itself. But there was still at least a couple that I hadn't hit. But I think that did it. So, obviously, just want to check that is definitely the case. And it is! Game records are done! So, I mean, look at that. Like, apart from the synthesis, you can't 100% the photo album, which is a bit ridiculous and a little bit annoying because I really wanted the, the golden Mickey on that, which I didn't get. But,
how's this? Goofy enough for you?
I just want to smile. I wanted to get a really cool shot of something, just to go, yeah, success! Because I was thinking, oh, do I need to get that to 100 to get it to sort of okay, and it didn't, so I was just like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. But it's fine, because I've got game records complete, and even though you're not going to see the synthesis complete, I know that's complete as well. All the secret reports are complete, so that's all of them. And basically all that's really left is adversaries, which we're going to finish off today. With the only optional normal boss in the game. Obviously, you've got a bunch of gummy ship bosses which classify as optional. The Flower Guardian, Comet Crawler, Space Worm, Scarlet Shark, Glacial Fortress, Supreme Warrior, Omega Machina, and Schwarzgeist. But Dark Inferno, which we are about to face down, I mean, it's a cool name, Dark Inferno. It's the only one that the game has that's normal. Obviously, come the DLC, there will be more extra bosses to be dealing with. I'm sure they'll be delightful. Main thing I would recommend for anybody, especially if you're going at the same level I am, is Mega Elixir and Elixir the hell out of your item slot. It's going to be an absolute godsend. So in terms of overall secret bosses, same total really as Kingdom Hearts 3D, which just had Julius. Nowhere near as many as the original Kingdom Hearts. I mean, it's got a list for optional bosses, but I think that's just because you can skip certain worlds. In reality, your key optional bosses were Phantom, Kurt Ziza, and Sephiroth. I suppose also the Rock Titan and the Ice Titan, so there were quite a few. But yes, this is the Dark Inferno. A boss fight that really does, if you want to do well, requires learning how to block and counter. I'm terrible at blocking, so really this is just going to be brute forced. And honestly, Ultimate Weapon is an absolute godsend for this. I mean, as long as you have it and you can get into Ultimate Form and you have Cure, you will get through this fight okay, pretty much. But the key that you want to deal with is blocking and countering and learning his pattern. As you go, he has 3 phases, one which is just sort of the initial one, then he turns purple, and then he turns red. So he gets faster and his attacks become a lot more challenging as you go. So it's just a case of sort of blocking, countering. It's very much that type of boss fight. While I think some people will find that frustrating, and totally needed the Pupo coin there, I did have a lot of fun with this fight. If I was better at blocking, which I'm not, I think it would have been a really, really engaging fight, but I'm just really, really bad at blocking. But this is actually my first attempt at Dark Inferno, so honestly, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Don't really care. So, the journal entry for Dark Inferno, since, you know, this short fight, I've not really got much chance to go over this sort of stuff. These dastardly dual wielders are like blenders and roller skates, except worse. You can try to keep your distance, but they'll soon close in on you, or else just hook a fireball your way. Be careful attacking when their blades are crossed. That means they're ready to counter. Stay cool, bide your time, then strike when they drop their guard. And yeah, honestly, I do just find this to be a really fun optional fight. It's not as, I think, spectacular as either of the Sephiroth fights, but I would say that it's a lot fairer than the majority of the previous optional bosses throughout the franchise. Because I mean, Phantom was ridiculous. Kurt Caesar was pretty fair, but because of the nature of how Kingdom Hearts 1's combat worked, it was a bit of a challenge. Obviously, I've never really taken down Unknown in Final Mix because I've never played Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix. Never made it through the KH2 Sephiroth battle because I was never high enough level to really deal with that, or played any of the Final Mix bosses. Vanitas Remnant was a fun optional boss fight, but I would say that it suffered from, you just had one tactic, that was the only way of getting through, and then the Unknown was a monster that I think was relatively unfair. Iron Imprisoner was, I'd say, a fun challenge. Birth by Sleep Final Mix, I never got to Armour of Ericus or No Heart, and Monster doesn't really count. Nobody cares about Recoded, and then Julius was fun, but I would say that, yeah, of all of them, this is probably the most fairly designed super secret final optional difficult boss fight. And I do really appreciate that, because I always like a boss fight that I can actually beat. It is just that needing to feel powerful, but yeah, Ultimate Weapon really, really, really helps for dealing with this fight, and you can take it on at a lot lower level than you would have been able to do otherwise. But as you can see, even then, it's still a challenge. It is entirely, you need to know how to block. You need to have the timing down on blocking to get through this safely. And I mean, we are cutting it really, really close because, you know, I don't have any items anymore, so this is basically it. I have got to kill him now. And so I'm going to do the only thing that I know how. I am going to just launch finish. And I think I can classify that as a great finish to that fight. But yes, that is all of the battle gates complete. It's all of the battling physically possible to do in Kingdom Hearts 3 at the point when I was, you know, recording this before Critical Mode came out. And we got our final wonderful selfie pose. I mean, I'm not sure that selfie pose is exactly the prize that I wanted out of that. But yes, the finger smack is it's literally just sort of the flicking motion, which I kind of love, but also like, wow, that's a thing. Also, yeah, we're totally deleting that one and getting one of us smacking something in the face. Probably Donald. I mean, I know he's like super powerful and all, but it just makes sense of being a sod. Yeah, Donald already taken the photo, mate. But yeah, apart from the synthesis, that is everything physically possible to play in Kingdom Hearts 3 pre-patch, pre-critical mode, pre-DLC. So, with that done, it's time to look into sort of the final few extras that I have available for you. See you then!